Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. I am partnering with Benu pens yet again, and I wanted to share with you guys one of their new colorways of a model that I have not yet tried myself. So this is going to be the Starlit Oasis of the Briolette style Benu pen. So if you've never seen a Benu unboxing before, you get this lovely simplistic white box with gold foiling. Love the size of this box. The pen comes inside this little paper sleeve like this, and you just have the pen inside there. It also comes with a cartridge. This is a super long cartridge that has an international standard international fitting at the top here. From my understanding, based on what I've learned now, is this ink is Diamine Oxford Blue. You also get a lifetime warranty little pamphlet in here, which gives you all the details about that, and just some paper shreds for extra padding for your pen. But let's go ahead and open the pen up and see this gorgeous little beauty. There's a little sneak peek. Wow. Okay. Okay, Benu. Okay, I see you. This is stunning. Wow. Okay, I'm going to zoom you guys in so we can really appreciate all the glitter and glam of this little baby. And then I'm also going to do some size comparisons, and we are going to be inking this pen up today. So like I said, this is the Starlit Oasis color in the Briolette. I love the facets on this pen. I am a fan of facets on pens. I feel like they just add a more gemstone look. But I specifically picked this colorway because, one, I love green, I love purple, but I wanted to see my nib through the transparent aqua colored resin. Their 𝗦𝘃𝗃𝗃𝗃 line came out recently too, and I was a huge fan of the pens that had the more transparent ends, or transparent cap, I should say, that showed the nib like a little peekaboo, and I thought that was so pretty. And I was happy to see they continued that style into their new range of Briolette colors. Yeah, I really am a fan. I love the kind of shimmer of the purple though. It's almost like holographic because there's like little hints of red and orange and yellow too. You probably see it better in the back here. Stunning. The belly band has the Benu name embossed into it, but there's no like foiling or anything. It's just pressed in, which is nice. So let's go ahead and do a turn test. We're going to do one. Okay, so the Benu is part of the cap. We have one. Wait, was that one? Oh, it's Benu on both sides. did not pay attention to that. Oops. Okay, so yeah, so one. There we go. Two. That's two. So two and some change. Not terrible. I'm gonna do that one more time just for my sanity. So we have one. I'm gonna measure it by this facet up here. So we have one. That's probably not helpful at all. Let me change my location here. We're gonna measure from this purple. One, two. Yeah, two and some change. I'm comfortable sticking with my answer. This does come with a Schmidt number 5 nib, depending on what nib size you go with. I got this in a medium because I've really been enjoying my Benu medium on another model that I have from them, and I wanted to see if the number 5 Schmidt nib behaves the same. So very happy to be playing around with another medium by Benu. The grip section unscrews completely to reveal the converter inside, which is another one of the standard Schmidt converters. It holds, I'd say, a decent amount of ink, and one thing I do like about converters is if you don't want to ink the whole thing up, you don't have to, especially if you like to change your ink a lot like I do. But yeah, it just kind of is a friction fit into the grip section like this. The nib also comes all the way out if you wanted to unscrew it. So the grip section unscrews from the nib unit like so, and I believe you can even take the nib out of the housing. I'm not going to do that today, but I'm pretty sure you can use some like grips and like pull this out of the nib housing, just because I'm pretty sure the nibs are interchangeable like that too. Don't quote me. I will double check and put it on the screen if I am wrong. But yeah, I definitely am happy to see oh gosh, that the pen disassembles as much as it does, just because that makes it very easy for cleaning purposes. And Benu pens are some of my favorite pens to put shimmer into. So having a pen that disassembles that easily is very beneficial, I think, if you're wanting to do a lot of shimmery inks, which is what I really like to put in these pens because they're so shimmery already. They need a shimmer. They just need it, okay? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on into size comparisons for these pens. I do have a few Benu models that I want to compare this with. Here is the Benu 𝗬𝘄𝗧𝗏 in the Lotus Grace, which is one of their hand-painted line. This is the Benu Astrogem in Midas. Seriously love this pen already so much. Here is the 𝗦𝘂𝗍𝗵 in Relaxing Sunday. And then I also have, like I said, a 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝗄, which is the teeny tiny cute little thing. And this one is in Plum Cream. So that's the range of Benu models that I have. I do have quite a few colorways in the 𝗬𝘄𝗧𝗏 model. I think that's my favorite so far, although the Astrogem is probably becoming a second favorite. So very exciting to see that. One thing that I have noticed is that the Briolette does not post. So if that is a deal breaker for you in terms of pens, just know that it really does not post. All of these other pens post. The 𝗬𝘄𝗧𝗏 becomes very long. But yeah, the Briolette does not post very well, and the 𝗦𝘂𝗍𝗵 also does not post very well, but it does post. Also, the 𝗦𝘂𝗍𝗵 has an obscene amount of turns to get the pen open, but just know that the Briolette, it doesn't post. Like, the cap just falls straight off. Like, there's no securing it to the back of the pen, so it's unpostable. So if that's a deal breaker, just know that's how it's going to go. However, in length, the 𝗦𝘃𝗃𝗍𝗵 is slightly shorter and is postable and is tinier. So if you're looking for a small pen that is postable from Benu itself, maybe check out the 𝗦𝘃𝗃𝗍𝗵. They have a whole bunch of colors, and they do have quite a few that have that kind of transparent cap like I mentioned, which is really pretty. But I also want to compare these to other pens that are not Benu, that I figured in case you wanted to see the size comparison for other pens by Benu, so you could figure out maybe what size would work best for you. But let me go ahead and close all these up and grab some other pens to do comparisons with. Okay, some other pens here. We have a 𝗬𝗏𝘂 Eco in Glow Purple. Here is a Lamy Safari in Field Green. And here is an 𝗬𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗏 in Rainforest. And just for fun, yeah, we'll do this one. This is a Leonardo Momento Zero in Alga. So I'd say it's a pretty short pen. It's definitely on the smaller end of pens, especially when you uncap it. I feel like uncapped it is definitely a shorter pen, but it's not a pocket pen. I feel like it's just a really great smaller pen. Might be better suited to those with smaller hands, just as a rule of thumb, I guess. But I don't think it's considered, like, I don't know, I don't really consider it a small pen, but it is a smaller pen. If we were to look at all of them uncapped, as you can see, it's a little bit shorter than everything. It's slightly shorter than the 𝗬𝗏𝘂𝗏, slightly shorter than the 𝗬𝗏, slightly shorter than the Lamy, and slightly shorter than the Alga, but not by much. I think the closest is going to be the Leonardo Momento Zero over here in the Alga, and after that it would be the 𝗬𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗏. For me personally, this is perfect. This is how I hold my pen. It sits great in my hand. I like the way the facets feel in the crook of my hand. I would hold it on the grip section. If you are more prone to holding it back here, that might be a bit short. And I will say this step here could probably be a bit of an issue depending on where you like to grip. For me, like I said, it's not an issue, but if you grip back here on your pens, like if you grip farther back, definitely consider that this does have a pretty big step right here. Let's go ahead and ink up the pen now. So the ink that I am going to go with is an ink from Kiwi Inks, and this one is called Emerald Green. It is, I think, going to be a very good match, but we shall see. But it has this icy blue shimmer on top of a bit more of a cool toned green base, and I feel like it's going to bring together the green and the blue of this. Yeah, I really want to just give that a try. If you've never inked up a pen before, just for my beginners, I'm going to go ahead and take the pen apart for the most part. I'm basically going to take the cap and the body section off. I'm going to depress my converter. I'm going to stick the nib of the pen all the way in up to the edge of the grip section. And after the pen is dipped into the ink, it's submerged, I'm going to pull the cartridge up. So I'm going to just do that really quick. I'm going to give this another little toss, make sure the shimmer is kind of dispersed throughout. And then if this goes well, I will keep this in the video. If not, just know that I filled the pen up with a little bit of struggle. Okay, I didn't really get a great fill. It's probably because this ink sample is a bit low now. The thing that I'm going to do instead is actually syringe fill the pen. So we're going to do that on camera together because I don't know if I have showed that on camera yet. Okay, so I'm going to take the the converter off of the pen and just leave my nib section over here laying down. This does get a bit messy, so if you are... yeah, it just know it might get messy, so to have some paper towels or something ready just in case. And then I'm going to take a blunt nose syringe. This has no sharpness to it at all, and I'm going to stick it in the ink and just suck up a little bit. This syringe holds up to 3 mils. I don't really think this cartridge or converter is going to hold that much, so I just did close to, I think, 1/2 mil. And you're going to depress the tip of the syringe into the converter and then depress the syringe until you get all of the ink inside. You may get a little bit of bubbles coming up, which just kind of be patient and go slow. You don't want to overfill the cartridge either, or cartridge or converter, just because you want a little bit of breathing room at the top, so when it fits into the feed, you're not going to have any kind of, I'd say, burping, either out of the nib of the pen or onto the converter inside the pen. The Benu pens are considered to be eyedropperable, so I could just eyedropper a bunch of ink inside the barrel of the pen and then put some silicone grease here. I'm not going to do that today just because I don't really want to go through that much ink, but one of these days I will eyedropper a pen for you guys so we can go through that together. Anyways, after you have filled up your cartridge or converter, you can reassemble the pen, and we are also going to make sure to close up our ink because we don't want any spills. Even though that ink would be very pretty all over my desk, I would prefer to use it and not have it be worn by the desk. But let's go ahead and give this a good test write. So here we have the Benu Briolette in Starlit Oasis. Pretty sure that's how you spell it. This has a medium number 5 Schmidt nib, and the ink is kiwi emerald. Emerald. Oh my gosh, I can't spell emerald, but it's emerald green, okay? It's emerald green. Yeah. I do think this has a slight amount of feedback. It doesn't feel glassy smooth, but it's definitely not like sailor feedback. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm writing with a pencil, let's say, but you can probably hear the sound of the nib on the paper. I like that sound, honestly. I think it's kind of satisfying. And it definitely is a smooth writer in the sense that I'm not getting any skipping or any pull, and especially with shimmer in here, I'm very happy to experience that. The shimmer in this ink is a bit fine, so I don't think it would cause any problems. Sometimes if the shimmer is a bit too coarse, it can cause clogs in a pen. So maybe if you're experiencing a lot of clogging issues with your using shimmer inks, consider that might be part of the problem. It could be the shimmer particles, you uptook too much shimmer, or it could just be the shimmer is all clogged into the feed too. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan And I like the color match of this ink with this pen too. I don't think it's my favorite. I think I'd probably want something with a little bit more contrast next time, but I definitely like the tone, like the color tones together. I think they look really, really nice. Some final thoughts on this pen. I am a huge fan. I do think the size might be a bit of a problem for some, but for me it's fine. I also don't mind that it doesn't post, considering I don't usually post my pens unless they are just really, really short. I'm more person to hold the cap in my hand, set the cap on the desk, something like that. So it does not bother me that it does not post. I do like that I can see the nib through the pen. I think this transparency is just so, so pretty. And I also like the quality of the resin. I feel like it's a really great weight. It has more of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's not super light. Like, it doesn't feel cheap, if that makes sense. Like, it has a decent feeling in the hand. It's not going to feel like just a plastic pen, even though it is pretty much plastic. Yeah, I definitely like the feeling in the hand. I also am a fan of the facets. I know that's not a fan for, or not everyone's a fan of that, but I do like that as well. And I also like that they have a whole bunch of colors of these, so I feel like there's probably a color for everyone out there. And they do seem to update the color ranges on some of their models, so they'll discontinue some of the colors and bring out new colors. So there are some older colors of this that are still beautiful too. I think there's one that's like luminous or luminosity or something like that, and it's like a golden brown. It looked really pretty. There's another one I think is called Jade, which is like black and green, that I was really interested in, but the new one with the kind of, again, transparency in the nib here is really what I was after. I will put on the screen when these are to be released. I believe they are already available on Benu.com, but I do think other retailers like Atlas Stationers, Goulet Pens, Venice Pens maybe, just check your local pen store people and see if they have any of these in stock, or when they will get in stock, or if they will get in stock, anything like that. But I'm definitely a fan, and although Benu did send me this pen for review, I always give my honest opinion. So if there's something I don't like, I will definitely tell you guys, but I do like this pen and I do want to keep it in my collection. I think it'd be a really fun addition to the Benu colorways I have too. I'm trying to expand my colors this year in terms of my pens. Okay, enough rambling. I'm a fan. I would love to hear your thoughts on the pen or on any of the Benu models. I think they're have a great range to go through. The only model I'm missing now is the Talisman, which hopefully I will be getting soon. I'm very excited to see how that one compares, because it might be my favorite. We shall see. I don't know, but I'm excited. Anyways, I wish you the best. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.